Honda Prologue or the Nissan Ariya? We're putting them head to head. We'll compare the powertrain, battery size, range, interiors, and pricing. Let's see if we can help you decide which one is perfect for you. This Honda Prologue Elite comes in all-wheel drive. So you got front and rear electric drive motors, combined 288 horsepower, 333 pound-feet of torque. You got 0 to 60 in about 5.9 seconds. Since this is based off the Ultium platform, this gets an 85 kilowatt hour battery, which is a pretty good size for this vehicle. You get up to 273 miles in this all-wheel drive version. The front-wheel drive version of this will get up to 294 miles. Efficiency on this one here is about 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour. You got a max DC fast charging of 150 kilowatts. I would think that with that size of a battery, you should be getting a lot faster charging speed than that, but it's not horrible. You get about 100 miles in 17 minutes. This is the Platinum Plus, so it also has the E-Force all-wheel drive system. So this is a dual motor all-wheel drive with 389 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque. You get a 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds, which is pretty quick for an SUV. There are two battery options. One is a 64 kilowatt hour battery, and the one that is in this one, the 87 kilowatt hour usable battery. It's a 90 kilowatt hour total capacity. Has a range of 267 miles, which comes out to about 3.07 miles per kilowatt hour. You get a peak charging rate of 130 kilowatts, which is not a great number, but it's not a terrible number either. DC fast charging, you can get 10% to 80% in about 40 minutes. Hopefully that they can increase the charging speed on this as we move forward. Now let's take a look at the cargo space here. You get 24 cubic feet of space back here. Nothing fancy going on back here. You do have some holders for your bags. You do have an optional cargo cover that you could get if you would want one, but there's no power or anything like that back here. It's just very, very simple. You can look up underneath here, and you do have some additional space back here, and it's okay, but this right here is really deep. You have a really deep spot right in the front here, so that is pretty good. Okay, so let's take a look with the seats down. I'm just going to push this handle right here forward, and they're going to drop right down right here. Handle, push it forward, and they're down, and now you have about 55 cubic feet of space. Really good amount of space, but one thing I'm noticing is the narrowness of the wheel wells. These wheel wells come out into the cargo space so much that it really makes it narrow through here. It's surprising. I don't think I've ever noticed that on other vehicles, that they came in that far. Maybe I'm just not thinking about it on other vehicles, but that just really stands out. Maybe it stands out because this is open and kind of curves up and kind of shows here's your wheel well instead of it being a solid plastic piece like maybe some others are. But here's a look at the back end of this. It looks nice. It just, nothing crazy. They just didn't go overboard with the design here. Here is the back of the Ariya. Of course, you can see right here, you've got Platinum Plus, E-Force, and the Ariya name badge there. Got a little button right underneath here is gonna open up. Now this does have a cargo shelf back here, or cargo cover, and we are going to remove this cargo cover, which is pretty easy. It's just got these little clips right up here, and we can take that right out. You can see things a little bit better now. You got 23 cubic feet of space back here. Underneath here, you got a little storage off to the side, got the charging cable in here, and back here is a lot of your tire stuff. There is your Bose speaker in here. All right, you got a cubby hole on this side and this side. And that's about it. You got a little hook right here for a tie down or maybe a cargo net back here. Anyway, let's drop these second row seats. So we're just going to flip this handle right here. That's going to drop those. Same thing on this side. We're going to push that up and drop that one. And now you have about 60 cubic feet of space. That is a really good amount of space. Pretty competitive for these SUV crossover segment here. You know, it's about the same size as the ID4 in comparison. I do like it. It is plenty of room. If you would need to sleep back here, you very easily could. So if you enjoy watching and learning about new cars, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because I put a new car up every week. Now let's take a look at this, I think, an awesome interior. So you've got this black, gray, and off-white mix in here. And this thing's gonna beep until we get in the car because it does not like having a door open with the car on for some reason. But anyway, you've got a door pocket down here, hold a couple bottles there. Your hatch release is actually right back here. You've got your window and mirror controls up top here. A little bit of piano black, but not too bad. And then you have your memory seating up here. You got powered seats with lumbar. These seats look amazingly nice. I like the color combinations and they are very comfortable. All right, let's stop all the dinging and let's just get inside, but here's a quick glimpse of what we're gonna be looking at. All right, so like I said, the color combination in here is really nice. It just makes it feel really open. And going across here, this is nice soft leather right here. This is a nice like rubber feeling material back here. Even all the way back here. This is not like real hard plastic. It's kind of a little bit of a soft plastic way back up in there, but it doesn't matter. But if you look at this, this is something that I noticed right away. Look how big the dash is. I mean, it goes way back in here. It is huge. I haven't seen this big of a dash in anything recently. The last thing I can think of would be the Ford Tauruses. Had a massively huge dash. This one has a really big dash also. Anyway, not that it really matters. There is plenty of room in here. It was just something that I noticed and I was just like, why? Why is this so big? Anyway, let's go down here and we'll take a look in the glove box. Good sized glove box, not a whole lot of stuff in there, which is good. And I like that this isn't vents, but it looks like vents. And this does remind me of a Honda Accord. The new Honda Accords have kind of a similar thing coming across here. Over here we have a very nice sized infotainment screen. And then we can go over here to this driver's display. Now, I think the driver's display looks nice. The colors are good and everything like that, but you can't really change a whole lot of stuff in here because you can't change this over here. I've tried everything to change that and that won't change. You can go to here and this is the navigation in the car. And then you got driver assistance. And then you're back to the same screen that you were on. This current trip right here, that can be replaced by your trip 1 and trip 2 or trip A, trip B, whatever they have it called in here. You got about 183 miles of range right now. We're on about, I think 68%, 70% charge. So here is the Honda steering wheel. And on this side, you have your heated steering wheel button, and then you have your voice recognition and your menu buttons. Like I said, don't do much. And then on this side, you have all of your driver assistance features, your adaptive cruise control. But what I found out was you have to push the button down here to turn on your lane keep assist. Okay, let's go over to the infotainment screen. Screen is really nice. It's bright, really good color to it and everything like that. So you have your home button down here. That brings up any of the buttons that you would want to go to. You can go to your vehicle status. This is basically going to tell you your tire pressures. Go back, you got energy info. So you're going to tell you where your energy is being used at right now. and how much your efficiency was the last mile, which was 2.3, which is not as good as it should be. And then we go to trip, and with that you have your current trip and your trip 1, trip 2, and this is where I was talking about. You can go here and you can add it to the driver's display and replace the current. This is also where you reset those. And then the same thing with the current trip, you can move it to the display or take it out of the display, whichever you want to do there. We'll go to charging. So you can go into charging here, and next charge will charge you 100%, and it's saying it should be 273 miles. That's what the EPA has this rated at. You can schedule charging on here. If you click this, then you can change it if you want it to charge to something other than 100%. So something I wanted to show you, and I found this a few days later after I couldn't figure out why it wasn't charging very quickly. Even though we're using a level 1 charger, we still should have been charging faster than what we were, and I couldn't figure it out. So then I came into the car and I was just messing around, and if you go in to charging and you see this says charging 100%, ready by Friday at 9:15. Well, it's Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So that's a long time. And I couldn't figure out why it was taking so long. So if you click on this and you look over here and it says max charge power 12 amps. It's not charging at 12 amps. So you have to turn this on, and then it gives you this warning to let you know that it could draw more power from your house. Then you click use max, and now you see it jumped all the way to Thursday by 9:30 a.m. Like I said, this is level 1 charging. It will show 1 mile per hour here, but it actually goes up to about 3 miles per hour. The first couple days I was charging at 1 mile per hour and I wasn't getting much charge overnight. So just to let you know, if that's your situation, if you have one of these cars, this is something that might help you out. Make sure you go in and check that, even on a level 2. I'm not sure how it looks on a level 2, but I would check that. Make sure you're getting the max charging that you can get. We go back out here. Now, if you go to the settings button up here, this is where you can change some features. So you have your home charge location, so you can set that up at your house. You have notifications. It'll give you a notification if something has happened during charging. So you've got preconditioning temperature, so you can have that set up for your cabin. So when you remote start, you can turn that on and it'll be nice and warm when you get in here. And then you have preferred charging times. You also have fast charge prep. And at first I wasn't sure what that was, but I turn it on, and this is actually your preconditioning for your battery, for your charging. So it's going to heat up your battery to the optimum temperature so you can get the fastest charge that is possible for your car. You're definitely going to want to use that during the winter. Here you have your control button. So when you press that, it gives you some quick buttons to turn stuff on. So this does have a heads-up display, so you can turn that on and off. It is right out there. It's kind of hard to see, but it actually is really big. When you're in here looking at it, it's really big. On camera, it always looks small. Your windows, you turn off your traction control up here. You also could set your auto high beams, your fog lights, and park assist. There's a few other buttons you can do. Windows and doors, lights, drive, and park, and universal remotes. You do have a quick button for your headlights there. You can just reach up there, and right now I have them on, but you can turn it to auto and it will turn on and off. This does have one pedal driving also, so you look right here, there is one pedal driving. You can set the limit, so you have it on normal, which actually is kind of aggressive, and I haven't even put it on high to see how aggressive high is, but that's where or you can shut it off and you can drive this like a normal vehicle, which I think is really nice because it doesn't have like a B mode or anything like that to just give you some regen. So you can have it set up with no one pedal driving, and you're going to use your brake just like a normal car. You're still going to regen some power, maybe not as much as you would if you were doing one pedal driving, but you will still regen. And it's only going to engage those brakes when you have a hard stop. Or at the very end when you are coming to a stop. So let's take a look at the backup camera. Also wanted to show you this stock here. So this is your gear shift. So you pull it and push down to go to drive, If you pull it once, it goes to neutral. If you pull and go up, it goes into reverse. Then that's going to show you your backup camera, and it looks really, really good, really clear. And we go to bird's eye view, so you can see what's directly in front of you or what is directly behind you, which is really nice. Then you have the side view with your cameras that show you forwards and backwards. Wow, that's nice. Then you have this one. It's got your bird's eye view over here, and you're still showing down the side. So you got the combination, and you can combine any of those together. So that's a lot. And then your tracks for where your tires will be. If you back up, then you can turn, and it's going to show you where your tires are going to be. That is pretty awesome. Really impressive. And then you have your front camera and your regular rear camera. Come down here and you've got all of your climate control buttons. I love that Honda did that. So you've got your heated and ventilated seats buttons right there, and then everything else that you need there. And like I said, the steering wheel, heated steering wheel buttons over here on the steering wheel. You have 2 USB-C plugs right here, and you have a 12-volt plug-in right here, if I can hold it open. This does have wireless Android Auto, I believe. I'm sure it has wireless CarPlay also. And down here, this is just a pad. This doesn't do anything special. This is just a pad, and it is really good. It's kind of rubbery pad, and let your phone slide around and everything. So you can like take it out and put it there, and you can see it doesn't slide very well. Then you come back here and you got 2 cup holders, and then right here is your cell phone charger, and just slide it right down in there and it will charge while you're driving. The big center console, nice, pretty comfortable. It's not like real cushiony, but it's comfortable. Open it up, and down in here you do have a pretty good size pocket down in here. We've got a few items down there, but it's about forearm depth. And then you have a small little tray up here for coins or whatever. And it just reminded me, one thing that I wanted to also point out is that this does not have any padding under it either. You have this leather, and there's like no cushion. I mean, this thing just does not move. It's almost like solid. It's actually starting to hurt my elbow after a while. You also have this amazing panoramic roof up here. Really, really big. Pretty nice. Let's take a look at the inside, because there's a lot of awesome things in here. Okay, so we're gonna start here with the door, and you do have this blue suede. As you can see, we do have blue seats in here. They're a nice, decent blue color. They're not like horrible. It actually kind of blends together really well with a lot of this black and a lot of this wood grain going around here. It looks really good. So you have all your controls right here. You have your memory seating right there. Of course, your Bose stereo system down here. You can see right there, E-Force on the door. So you do have powered seats here with a lumbar. They are pretty decently comfortable seats. Drove in it for about 2 hours yesterday and felt pretty decent. All right, and then one of the cool things while we're right here, because it's hard to show you otherwise, the center console here, you can adjust this to fit your elbow or whatever space that you need. So you can move this forward and backwards. So you can slide that all the way back, and then you can kind of see some of the stuff that is down here, which is a couple USB ports and a 12-volt plug and a little container right there. You can probably set your cell phone down in. All right, so you can move that back up. We'll go back up, and there we go. All right, let's get on the inside, and I'll show you a few more things. All right, coming across here. Now, this is all of that suede material or Alcantara, whatever you want to call that. And then you just have some hard plastic up here, which is fine because nothing is going to be up there anyway, so that doesn't really matter. But this is nice and soft, and it feels really good. And you come down here, and you do have this kind of wood grain going across here. It actually does. I mean, I don't think that it's real wood, but it feels like real wood, but it looks like real wood, but I don't think it actually is. I think this is awesome. I love it. I love the way that these are integrated into this panel. They are haptic feedback, so you just touch them, makes a little popping noise, so you know that's being done, and you can actually shut the popping noise off if you don't want it on. But then they are just really easy to use. They are really good haptic feedback buttons. They work very, very well. That is one of the cool things, and here is another. So you do have a glove box right here, which is, you know, normal, nice. I was actually surprised you have that glove box there, because it blends in really well and you don't really notice it. But you do have a secret storage compartment back here. You have a button that says open and close. So when we push the button to open that, there is the magic drawer. So you can see it's actually pretty deep. I have a charging cord in here. I have safety glasses in here. I've got a badge in there. It actually goes down there way far. So really good, a really nice hidden little drawer. Goes away, and you have this wide open floor down here, and it just makes it feel really comfortable and open and airy in here. You got a fully digital display, speedometer on the right, your power level and your regen is on the left, and also you have your trip information there in the left. Up top you have your time, you have your percentage of your battery, you also have your estimated miles available. I like that. And then you can also have your efficiency of your miles per kilowatt hour in the center display also. You can change that center display, and that's where you can you have this little toggle right here, and it just goes back and forth and it changes everything in the center. So you've got a couple things right there, and you can press over. You got tire pressure, you can scroll battery capacity, estimated charging time, and how fast. There is your torque. All right, tire pressure. We're going to go back over, and there's your navigation, your Bluetooth audio, your driver assistance, and then settings. We go into settings, and then this is where you can change all of your stuff. Yeah, that's where all of your information is. Okay, we'll go back to the steering wheel. Really nice steering wheel. It's laid out really well. Up here, you've got your driver assistance that's going to turn on your cruise control. And if you have your lane centering and everything turned on, that is going to turn all of that on at the same time. If you have it all shut off, it'll just do your adaptive cruise. There's how you set your adaptive cruise distance. And then you've got up and down, and then you've got phone, voice recognition. And then on this side, you have your all your menu for your stereo functions, your forward, backwards, and your volume. And then this all controls everything in this center display here. So we can do that back button and clear that out. And steering wheel actually does feel pretty good. It's leather wrapped, and this feels pretty good. One thing that I have noticed when I'm driving is that I put my elbow on the armrest. So my elbow goes on the armrest, and then I reach out, and I usually hold about right here on the steering wheel. Now, when I have this set, I have this fully extended all the way back, and then I pull it all the way down until I can just barely see. So I'm kind of looking like this. Should be able to put my arm on the armrest and grab the handle right here and feel comfortable. Well, the problem is that this armrest is too low. So this is kind of what it looks like. So my elbow is way down here, and for me to comfortably hold the steering wheel, I am more at kind of holding clear down here, because I can't go up here. If I go up here, it's pulling my arm off of the armrest. So I think these armrests are a little bit low. I think they need to bring these up just a little bit, probably about another inch or so, and they would probably be perfect. But it's just an annoyance for me. I'm sure that it doesn't affect everybody, but it is just, like I said, it's an annoyance for me. So it might affect others. All right, we'll go on over here to the infotainment screen. Now, like I said, most of your stuff is being done over here in the driver's display, but we're going to talk about the infotainment screen. You do not have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It is wired, which is okay because then your phone stays charged. So this is your home screen here, and you've got your navigation and everything else here. And my phone, I don't have it connected right now. we can go to navigation, bring up the big screen. There is your audio, so then you can choose between Bluetooth, XM, AM, FM, and then you have phone, so you can connect, talk to your phone. Then you got your climate control right here. This is where you can control everything. So you got your temperature and your heated steering wheel. Here's your heated and cooled seat button. You can turn that on or off. All right, so then you can just set this up however you want. So go back to the home screen, and we can go up here. There's a little icon right here, which is hard to find. So there's your settings. Now let's go to you can connect your phone, your navigation, your sounds and beeps inside the car, so you can just calm down and shut some of those off. Your general stuff is going to be all your times and whether you're driving in miles or kilometers and all that stuff. Then you can swipe across here and you have Nissan Connect services. So if you have it set up on your phone, and then over here you have EV. And so we're going to click on the EV, and you go down through here and it's going to tell you battery and power alerts, your charging messages, map icons for charging stations. Yes, you definitely want that on. Filter map icons. So then you can actually adjust that to ones that are open for 24 hours. Yes. Do you want it to show closed ones? No. Auto save, new charging stations. So that's pretty cool. And then we'll go on down here a little bit, and you can turn on your battery heater. So if you're headed to charge up your vehicle, you know that's where you're going, turn on your battery heater. I don't know how long it's going to take to heat up the battery for charging, but I would suggest turning it on probably anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes ahead of time. And then you should be good by the time you get to the charger and pull max speed. That is the biggest thing that I wanted to show you in there. So then we're going to come down here. We already talked about, you do have some climate control buttons right down here, and they work really good. They're haptic feedback, and you can easily move that up and down, and you can see it up on the screen right there. You can just touch. It just changes really quickly. All right, come on back, and you do have an electronic parking brake. It is right there. Let's look at your gear selector here. So now what you have here is, this is park. You're going to push that button down. To go into drive or brake, you're going to pull it back, drive once, and then you pull it again, and it goes into B, and it will display up on the screen here. Now to go to neutral, you're just going to slide it up once. There we go. And then if you want to go into reverse, this one was tricky and I couldn't figure it out, because it looks like you would just push it forward again to put it in reverse. That's not actually what you have to do. You have to push this button on the side and then push up, and then that puts it into reverse. Okay, that one was a little tricky when I first learned that. So then you have two cup holders right here, and these little flappy things. I haven't decided whether I like them or whether they work very well, but they're kind of loose and flappy, so I don't think they're going to hold things really well, but I could be wrong. We come back here and you have auto park, so it will park itself. You have the E-step, which is like one pedal driving, although it doesn't bring you to a complete stop. And then you have open and close for that tray up there that we talked about just a minute ago. And your drive modes. So let's check out your drive modes and see what we got going on here. One of these is going to show you got Sport, Standard, Eco, and Snow. Well, let's just go ahead and put it in Sport. That's where we're going to want it anyway, here in a few minutes. So this also does have a cover that can close, so it looks a little bit better. And then you have your armrest right here. Now you would think that this would be a center console, but actually it's not. You lift it up and you have just this tiny little tray back here. You can set keys and maybe something else back here, but here is your wireless phone charger. That is pretty nice because you can just slide it in there. Even with this closed, you can just take your phone and just slide it right on in there. And your phone's out of the way. Like I said, you can also probably put it in this little tray right down here without any problem. Okay, this does have a panoramic roof on it also, so we can open this up now. And one more time, and so you do have this really nice big, actually it's not a panoramic roof, it is actually a moonroof, because you press the button and boom, There is your moonroof. All right. I like that. I like that better than just a full panoramic roof. What you do have with this one is a digital one. So you can flip that and you have a camera showing the back. Let's take a look at the backup camera on here. So this one is actually pretty good. You've got a bird's eye view here, and then you just have the regular backup camera. So that's pretty cool. And you do have your auto park button right there also. I am 6 foot, so that should give you a good idea of the space back there, and then we'll also see what kind of amenities are back there for your passengers. Let's check out the space in the back. There you can see you got a nice flat floor in there. Color combinations are still great. I still love them. All right, let's get in. Driver's seat is in my driving position, and you can see I have probably about 4 or 5 inches right here. My head space. Now, if I sit up straight, my head is grazing the top of this. My hair is kind of grazing. My head is almost touching itself. So headspace is not the best back here, but it's okay. If I relax myself just a little bit, I would be perfectly fine. Otherwise, it is pretty decent back here. All right, let's take a look and see what kind of amenities are back here for your kids or your passengers. Okay, here is the door panel, and now this is plastic up here. And all of this is all just plastic. This is a little bit of leather, but there's about the same amount of padding here as there was up front, so it's not great there either. This is really nice, and this feels good. So you can see you have vents right here. You got a little cubby hole right here, which is kind of nice. You slide your cell phone or something in there. And then down below you have 2 USB-Cs, and it looks like you have a 120 household plug right there. That's good. You got pockets in the back of the seats, and here in the center console you got a couple cup holders, and this is a nice good height right here. It's comfortable. Okay, so let me show you my head space. So you can see there's my head space. I am like right up against this. So 6 foot tall, and I'm touching the top right here. Like I said, I can relax down just a little bit and give myself a little bit more space, but if I'm sitting up straight of my back against the seat, I'm actually in the roof. So somebody a little taller than 6 foot might have a little bit of trouble back here. They may have to slouch down quite a bit. I don't think there's gonna be much problem with space back there. It looks pretty good, but let's go test it. All right, so this door opens almost to a 90-degree angle, not quite 90 degrees, but it gives a big opening in here for you to get kids and stuff in here without any problem. We get in, and the driver's seat is in my driving position, and yeah, I have, probably about 2 to 3 inches there. So plenty of space there with my knees, my head, about another inch or so above my head. So yeah, I fit back here pretty good. Seats feel pretty comfortable. Yeah, that's about it. There are a few things back here, so let's take a look at them. So your door does have a pocket down here for a water bottle, and you've got speaker for your Bose system right there. You got Alcantara across here, so they did carry that to the back. That's nice to see. Fully leather seats, just like the front, and I love the stitching on these, if I didn't mention that earlier. Across here you do have a little mat pocket right here. So and then you have your vents right here, and you see this is all like a wood grain. It looks really nice. You got heated seats back here also, and a USB-A and USB-C plug. You do have a center armrest right here, so we're good right there. We got a couple cup holders also. And then here's a good look at that panoramic roof, and we'll take a quick look at the front again. Looks really nice. Let's go hear about the pricing, and then we're gonna take this out for a drive. We're going to start with the base model EX. It's front wheel drive, gives you 296 miles of range, and it's gonna start with a price of $47,400. So that is a respectable price. Not too bad. You go up to the Touring, The Touring is going to start at $51,700. And then you have this Elite. Now the EX and the Touring versions, you can choose all-wheel drive for either of those versions. The Elite comes standard all-wheel drive, and you're going to be starting at $57,900. This one that we've got right here, as tested with destination fees and options, comes in at $59,750. Now the question is, can I afford this? Can you afford this? Is this an affordable EV? Well, let's take a look at that right now and then go take it out for a drive. As for the pricing for the Nissan Ariya, there are several different trim levels, different combinations with batteries and all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive. So I'm going to give you base pricing, the one with the most range, and then what we have right in front of us. So we're going to start with the Engage front-wheel drive. It's a 64 kilowatt hour battery with about 216 miles of range. It starts out at $39,590. Now the one with the most range is going to be the Venture Plus front-wheel drive, 87 kilowatt hour battery with 304 miles of range. Starts at $41,190. Now the Platinum Plus all-wheel drive that we have right here with the 87 kilowatt hour battery and 267 miles of range starts at $54,190. And our tester right here in front of us with options and destination fee comes in at $56,940. Not sure if you can hear it, but this does have a pedestrian warning kind of sound to it. Kind of wah, 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 wah. All right, we're gonna pop right out here. We're gonna do a 0 to 60. Supposed to be about 5.9 seconds. We're in sport mode. You only have two modes, normal and sport. And ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And 60. Not too bad, actually. I kind of like that it doesn't like jolt you and pin you back into your seat, but the power kind of just grows. It does give you a good initial jump, but nothing that makes you feel like your stomach just, went through the back seat. So, very nice. And that's why another reason why I think that people really enjoy this car and why so many people have bought this car. It just is nice and smooth and comfortable. No matter what you do, you just feel comfortable in it. It's relaxed, it's calm, it's not overpowering. All of this just is nice and laid out very well. I feel the ride is very comfortable. They did a great job with the suspension. Everything just is really good, except for those few things that I pointed out to you earlier, especially, the armrest here. This pad here doesn't do anything. You probably could have utilized that for something better. Not sure what, but you could have done something here, or just left this open so you could just set your purse or whatever down in there. Would have been nice too. The dash, the massively huge dash, which is really surprising to me, which is not a big deal. Like I said, most people wouldn't even bother them, but you have so much dash that it's like, what is going on? Why do we have so much dash? I have actually enjoyed driving this car, and I could really see myself driving one of these every day. It's very, very comfortable, easy to do. It does feel a little heavy and at times. So if you could take a sharp corner or something like that, you're going to feel how heavy this vehicle is, because it is a heavy vehicle. It's like almost 6,000 pounds, and it's got an 85 kilowatt hour battery, which is a pretty good sized battery underneath there. And it does help it stay stable, but when you go into those corners, you get a lot of lean and body roll. So I wouldn't treat this like it's a sports car, because it is not a sports car. This is a touring car. This is a comfortable, I'm gonna go take a trip and drive for 18 hours if I want to and still be comfortable and still feel good. We can go right out here, do a 0 to 60. So we're gonna pull out. All right, we got a brake, torque. Ready? A little bit. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Oh yeah, the power builds. And 60, yeah. It says 5 seconds. Yeah, I bet it's 5 seconds. I may have been even less than that. Wow. It starts out slow and then the power just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. It just keeps on building up and wow. Yeah. It's every bit of 5 seconds. That's awesome. Now let's talk a little bit about this car because like I had mentioned, this came a little bit late compared to everyone else. So this came out in 2023 and everybody else was kind of putting their cars out around 2020, 2021. And this one came a little late, but they also already had the Nissan Leaf. So it's not like they were late to electrifying or late to making an EV. It was just this crossover market that became a huge thing when the EVs hit. Everybody wanted this crossover SUV electric car because it was big enough for their families and big enough for them to travel in. Well, Nissan, I think, did a very, very good job with this car. I have been impressed driving it. I like it. I feel comfortable in here. I could drive this every day without any problems, other than the few things that I have already mentioned, which the thing that bugs me the most is the armrest, because with my hand right here where it's at, I'm not even touching the armrest. I am about an inch to an inch and a half away from the armrest, and I can't touch it. The only way I can do it is if I put my hand clear down here at the bottom. I don't feel comfortable driving that way. And that's another thing. The voice recognition just randomly goes off all the time. And I'm always having to tell it, cancel, stop, no. So that, I'm not sure what the problem is with that. I must be triggering some word that I'm saying. But yeah, the armrest is really low. I don't feel comfortable with my hand clear down here. So it really needs to be up here for me to feel comfortable. So I'd like to see the armrest get raised up about an inch to an inch and a half, and it would be perfect in here. I love this blue color, actually. I was a little concerned when I found out that I was going to have a blue interior, but this blue really does look nice, and it feels good, and I like the leather seats, and the stitching looks awesome. The Alcantara suede going all the way around looks really good, and the fact that they carried it on into the back is nice to see also. I like the wood grain with all the integrated haptic feedback buttons. Haptic feedback buttons don't bother me. I get used to them and they're fine, and these work really, really good. And they're integrated into the wood and it just looks awesome. Same with the ones that are up here on next to your gear shifter. It's, those buttons are easy to use too, and you can push them down and they make noise and everything like that, and everything works really well. Where the good thing is that they didn't put haptic feedback on the steering wheel, because with the haptic feedback in the steering wheel, I mean, they kind of did, but your main buttons that you want to change things on there are not haptic feedback buttons. They are a scroll and a wheel and buttons and everything like that.